So here's the thing, depending on the questions that you have, if you have a whole bunch of questions, then I'll go ahead and answer that. So be sure to either call in or queue them up in the chat. I'm going to spend majority of the time talking about the easier ways to get started. The getting clients, I'm going to touch on that today, but I want to spend a full amount of time on that. So the next time we meet, we'll elaborate on that. Okay. So that's what we'll cover today. All right. So when it comes to where to get started, there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can make money online. Like, we know that. And this may be what's stressing some of you out in regards to where do you start. So I need to know where it is that you're stuck. If you already have the skill, then we're working at an easier place. If you don't have the skill yet, then we'll talk about that. But tell me exactly where you are stuck in regards to the getting started. Now, there's two easier ways, and we talked about this last week, right? The easiest way, well, I'm not gonna say the easiest, this is my opinion, right? The problem with some of the other ways that I just showed you is that there is a learning curve, right? So you have to learn how to use software. You need to connect the softwares. You need to do all these various things that you have to learn about first before you can actually execute. So if you are doing the consulting or the contracting or the freelancing in a field you already have expertise in, you can start that immediately, and you can do it with very low overhead. It's harder to do that with some of the other ways to make money online, regardless of what people are saying online. You are going to have to come up with some initial startup costs, right? But if you can consult, or you can contract, or you can freelance. And so there is a lot of people getting laid off at this moment. And so the benefit of most of the time when corporations are laying people off, they still need the work to be done. And what they typically do is they run out to contracting firms so that they can find people to fulfill these various positions. And the reason why they use, obviously, these contracting firms is that they don't have to pay for health insurance and all these different benefits. So it's cheaper for them in the short term. So if you've been doing a particular job for a while, and let's say you get laid off, or you want to do a little bit of contracting work so that you can, work on some other things, look into those agencies that are specifically set aside for contract work. For my creatives, if you're a graphic design artist, if you build websites, if you do ad copy, there are staffing agencies, contracting firms specifically for those industries. If you're an accountant, if you do any of those things, there are contracting agencies specifically geared for those industries. Government agencies use them, private agencies use them, right? So you just have to get online, right? And you're going to Google contracting agencies for accountants, contracting agencies for creatives. There's one specifically for creatives that even I used to use, and I can't remember the name of it right now, but I'll tell you that. So the benefit, again, even if you just want some side work, you don't want to do anything full time, or if you've gotten laid off and you may be a little stressed out right now, don't worry. These jobs still need to work done. We're just going to do it in a way that's a little bit more cost effective from them, okay? So those types of things you can get into pretty much immediately because you already have the skill set, right? Okay, let me close that. Sorry. Yes. Okay, sorry. So, I got distracted with the sound. This is why I shouldn't be loud. Okay, yeah. So, right. So go ahead and research those contracting companies because you can do this immediately. All right. If you have any expertise, if you are leaving a position or you want to leave your current job, a lot of times you can work out a consulting or contracting agreement with the job that you're leaving or your past jobs because everyone is still going to need help around this time. They just may not be able to pay health insurance and provide 401k benefits and do all of that. So the key is people have to know that you do what you do. Okay, you have to, whether you put your information online or you're putting on LinkedIn, people have to be really clear of what you do. And you can't just say, I'm a project manager or I'm a VP of sales or I'm a this, because those titles don't tell people what they can get from you or what you can actually do to help them. So it's really important that you talk that out. And if you want, we'll spend some time today going through that so you can feel a little bit more confident as to how you present yourself when you're trying to do the consulting or the freelancing, okay? We're going to go over some websites in a bit where you can check out to kind of make it, to help you figure out where you need to be. So again, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the queues. I just did something with the conference software because it was making noises. I'll figure that out in the audio later. Okay. And again, the last one, as you know, this particular channel is a reflection of documenting a new journey or exploring something different. So let's just get rid of that. And okay, we did that already. All right, perfect. All right, so let's move on. Okay, so again, we talked about the consultant, contractor, or the freelancer, and we're going to talk about some websites. So in many of your applications, you can say that this is what you're searching for. If you don't want a full-time job, or if you are attempting to grow your business and you just want a couple contracts, let me just show you really quickly, just Indeed, how you can do this. So let me move this down a little bit. So Indeed, of course, y'all know I'm in Portugal, so let me convert this to English. I don't have access to US's Indeed. They won't give it to me unless I have my VPN on, and I didn't feel like doing that. But what I want you to type here is contract. So depending on, get out of here, what you're interested in, you can move to these contracting companies really quickly and find opportunities. So this is basically remote. You can find various opportunities, and this is just Indeed, but any type of online website that you're looking for jobs or positions or contract work, this is one of the options. You can immediately do this. Now, if you want to go into consulting versus freelancing and contracting, you are going to have to build your personal brand, okay? But I'm not going to stress you out about that right now, but that's kind of what that is, all right? So now let's move to documenting your journey. Now, as you know, that's basically what I did on this channel. What I did was you remember these videos? I created these videos because I was showing a process and documenting a journey that I was taking personally. I was leaving the United States to move to Lisbon, Portugal. And there were a variety of things I didn't know how to do. And so I created various videos, met a bunch of amazing people, and pulled all that together. And in the process of doing that, it helps you end up building your audience. And so ultimately, that is what I want you to do. But when I push this whole, you need to know your target market, if you don't know who your target market is, it's going to be hard to create the content for them. So of course, I was talking about initially how to move out of the US into Portugal, because that is what I was doing. So I attracted people who wanted to do that. Then some people wanted to move abroad, but they also wanted to know, how do they make money to move abroad? And so that's where my expertise, I mean, I've been working remotely for 25 years now. So there's just some things that I know, and that's what I want to help you do during this process. So think about that in regards to your journey or your process. Like, I'm working with my sister now. I know some of you know that my nephew has autism, and we're working on creating this project or this conference for parents with children who have autism. And just watching my sister like do things that I've never seen her do before, or she's never done before, but she's documenting her journey as a mom. I mean, my nephew is a man now, and he's doing wonderfully, but she has just found different programs and resources to help those mothers, and now we're creating these resources. But that was her personal journey, okay? So I know that there is probably a lot of people stressed out and hurt and frustrated, whether it be from your job, but it's important to know that your position doesn't define who you are. And you can always do this position, or your skill set or your expertise can't be taken away from you, right? So the thing is just, how are you going to put this out here so that the rest of the world can experience it? And then, of course, how do you capitalize off of that? So for my individuals who are coming from corporate America, You all kind of struggle harder with this because of the title that you were given in a job. It's sometimes it may be a struggle on how to convey that in such a way that really shows what you do instead of some generic term and who you do it for. So let's try to do that so you can feel more comfortable about it, because ultimately everything revolves online with SEO and keywords. You guys know I have a digital marketing company, and so that's basically everything it is SEO and keywords. And so if you just say something generic like project manager, you will be in the sea of everything. And if you're talking about getting your audience online, specificity is going to be the key, okay? So let's move on. Now, let's talk about getting started a little bit. But more so, let me just ask a question real quick for the folks who are in chat before I move on. And also, if you have a question, if you could put Q in front of it so I know that you're talking to me and not everyone else. Find a way that won't make too much time. Okay. Okay. Tell me where you're getting stuck. Thank you, Brandy. You're saying finding a way to make money that won't take too much time. I have a full-time job and don't want all the free time to be spent working. That is a very good statement there. So let's just, I haven't done that in a while. We ain't format her that in a minute. Let me just change that. So yeah, this is a really important question. I'm on a different computer. That's why I don't know where anything is. Anyway, yeah, so this is probably what the issue is. So Brandy, can you tell me what you do and we can work that out? Any other questions before I keep going? Just here for ideas. Currently a bookkeeper in Orlando. Okay, great. So who do you do bookkeeping for, Val? Talk to me on that. Tell me who your audience is. Hey there, honey. Miss Bryant, how are you? I'm designing a course and I'm stuck getting started. Okay, Auntie Trey, let's chat. Y'all forgive the format of these questions the way it look right now, because I ain't figured that out on this computer yet. Don't get mad at me. Okay, I'm designing a course and I'm stuck and getting started, and I have 20 pieces of content as suggested. Okay, but I have some block of some sort. Auntie Trey, you're gonna have to talk to me. I need more information on that, honey. Like what I need more information. Hey, humble veg. Thanks so much. I apply the strategy of being specific and focusing on one country. I love it. Okay. All right. I love it. Okay. I think I watched it. Okay. All right. Question. Hey, Jennifer. I create original quotes and would to know ideas of how to monetize and get more exposure. You create original quotes. I need some more information on that, hon. I don't understand what that means. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. I have a call-in number and I need to get more insight from you guys, right? Heating and AC full-time, W-2 employee. Heating? I thought you said, oh, so you do bookkeeping for that type of company. I got you. All right. So this is what we have. I have the number. Let me copy that. And if you are on the email, you would have gotten this too. I'm going to put the number in the chat. I haven't logged in yet because it's going to play music and I don't know how to stop it. So let me, so if you call in and talk to me, then I can get a little bit more insight on where you're getting stuck. Specifically, Auntie Trey, I really want to talk to you. Tell me why you had this block, because I really want to know. So you're going to hear music, guys, and it's going to irritate you for a little bit. But as soon as people come in, it might be a little less irritating. All right, but let me just...
Welcome to Cinnamon's Conference Bridge.
Oh, that's my...
You are the only participant in the conference.
Okay, so pop on in, call on in.
Please wait.
And then we can have a conversation. And let me remind myself to look at that. Okay, so I got that. All right, so let me All right, I see y'all coming in. Let me admit everyone. Okay, so Brandy, I'm going to mute you real quick.
Okay.
Or actually, yeah, I'm going to mute you real quick. And then I'm going to go to Nashville, Tennessee. 615. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, who am I speaking with, love, and where are you calling from?
I am Humble Veg.
Oh, hey,
Uh,
Humble Veg. What's up, love?
should I go ahead and ask my question?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead and ask your question.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, Miss, I'm calling because I already have a marketing, a lead market magnet thing established,
Okay.
and I wanted to find out ways that I can get my campaign started to have more people subscribe to my website. I already have the flyer set up, and I'm working on creating a landing page. But I I understand from you there are multiple ways to build one's audience. So before I go ahead and get that campaign started, I just wanted to know what are some of the steps to put in place to successfully have people want to download what I'm giving them freely.
Okay, so you haven't started your audience yet, correct?
Yes, as of right now, I only have 14 subscribers on my website.
Okay, don't trip off of that. That's perfectly fine. So let me pull something up real quick. Where did I put that? Finding the clients. Didn't I put something together for that? Okay, so let me talk to you first, Humble Veg. So right now, there's a couple ways to find clients. It's going to be either inbound or outbound marketing, right? Those are going to be, that's really the only way. So outbound is basically you taking the initiative to tell people about your business. Now, I'm an introvert, so I prefer inbound marketing, which we'll talk about in a second, right? But for outbound marketing, you might want to make a list of companies that you would want to do work with. Or if there's podcasts, if there's people on YouTube who your ideal client already exists. Okay. So just go to people or websites or vlogs that already have the audience that you want. And don't discount the contacts you currently have. Like think about people you work with, people whose parents not parents but like if you got kids to go to daycare. I don't even know why that was my example. I don't have no kids, but if you already know people, just write the list down of people you already know first. Okay, tell them what you're doing and try to concentrate on folks who already have the audience and why you either being on their podcast or being as a guest poster is going to be beneficial. The reason why I'm saying starting with this first is because they already have the audience, and you building a new audience is going to take a little bit of time. So if you already have the lead magnet ready when you're on the podcast or when you're teaching or whatever you're doing with anyone's audience, don't discount your churches. Remember the audience the audience you already have, right? Not the audience, the places you're already located where there would maybe people who are interested in what you do. Okay. Just find those first. Now, Humble Veg, I know you are focusing on a specific country, but you can go a little bit generic just for right now and see if you know any vloggers, podcasts, or anything that works with, African food that is vegetarian. You can just look for vegetarian vloggers or podcasts and talk about, why it was important for you specifically to do this, the health implications, how you can still make it tasty, like your personal story, right? Start with your audience that already have it first. And what was your other question, honey?
Well, that was it mainly because I'm not trying to do a bunch of things at once. I seriously just want to build the audience because, again, I have the content over 100 there.
You do, right?
So
right.
That's the main part. I want to build the audience and then. Yeah.
Okay, so again, start with the audience that someone just write down audiences that already exist and try to send out the code emails, introduce yourself, because you got to, even though this is online, networking is still important. You know what I mean? So still network with those individuals. If you're worried about competition, then go outside of someone that wouldn't be your direct competitor. So like even though somebody else is doing vegan food, they may not be doing vegan African food, and therefore you can supply something new and different to their audience. Okay, so just start with that, and then your call to action when you are with these various people is, if you're interested in getting more, I have a lead magnet. You're not going to call it that. You call it whatever your lead magnet is called. If you want more information or help on how to do a grocery list or whatever it is your lead magnet is, that's your call to action wherever you are putting your message. Okay, so if you're doing it on blogs, if you're doing a podcast, if you're on a YouTube, whatever you're doing, your call to action is your lead magnet. Okay.
Hi, just a little side question there. My local grocery
Hold
store
on,
here
hon. I got to
that
take
sells,
a couple other calls.
okay,
So I'm going to put you on hold.
okay,
And if we don't have any more
sure,
before
sure.
the hour's out, I'll come back to you. Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
love. Okay. So we have Philadelphia 267-254. I'm going to unmute you, love. Can you hear me?
Hi.
Hey there. Who am I speaking with
Yeah,
and where are you calling
hi.
from? Oh, you said Philadelphia, but you may not
This
be
is
in Philadelphia. Where you at?
yeah, I am from Philadelphia.
Okay. What's your name, love?
My name is Jennifer. I was the one from Hill to Evolve, and I was talking about I write quotes,
Okay.
and I post them on Instagram, the
Okay.
inspirational, motivational quotes.
Okay.
So I wanted to get some ideas about how to maybe monetize or just get more exposure.
Okay. So the thing about quotes, do you feel like who are the people who are going to pay for quotes?
That's a good question.
Love heart. So, okay, but you bring up something that's really good, and I want everybody who is listening to me to consider this, right? When you want to make money online, you immediately have to think, what value are you providing to people that will make them part with their money? Okay, so when you think about this, who are the industries that may want quotes? But then you have some legalities, and then you have to work out some. So let's say there's t-shirt companies or mugs or something that want your quotes, right? Then you have to legally find out, like, okay, so how are y'all going to split this? You're just taking a quote, and is it exclusive? Do I get, you know what I mean? So you have some other legalities if you're selling these quotes to other people. But you also going to have a lot of issues of how to determine that it was your quote, unless you're going to go pay to get all these quotes copywritten, right? So you first have to
but I checked that out, and it with the copyright office, they don't do that.
Okay, so now you have to you got to have a conversation with yourself to see if this is particularly the area you should be in if you want to make money.
Okay.
You follow what I'm saying? And I'm not a dream destroyer. That's not what is happening right here. I just
no,
want
no, because I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay.
I'm gonna stick with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So just consider who is the audience that would want to pay for my quotes. You have to determine what industry that is. Okay. I have no experience with this to even pretend to tell you something. But yeah, you're going to have to find out who that is. All right.
Okay.
Does that help? Okay. All right, honey. Okay. So if you guys want to call on in, you can. Here's the number again. And all right. So I have Tracy. I'm going to unmute you, love. How are you?
Hello.
Hey, Tracy. Where are you calling in from?
Hello. Hey, Atlanta. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
It's a pleasure to talk to you, Tracy.
I put a voice to your beautiful face.
Oh, you're so cute. Tell me what your question is, love.
Okay. So initially, I had too many different ideas. Too many things I wanted to do, but then I was able to narrow it down to 3.
Okay.
But essentially, the course is the big thing. I want to design a course, and I want to market it to 2 hospitality brands in Africa.
Okay, so we talked.
But I don't have the course yet.
So here's the thing. That's fine.
Okay.
Don't even take the time to create the course right now, because I want you to sell it before you take the time to create the course. But you need to maybe create a one pager to explain what the course would be and why a person would y'all, I can't multitask. I'm trying to let people into. Anyway, sorry. So you want to create a one pager to whoever your client is to sell it. Back in the day when people weren't using the internet and everyone had these brochures. I'm not saying do all of that, but just create a one pager to make it very clear to your client what purchasing this class would be, why it would be beneficial for them. How would it change their life? Will it save them time? Will it give them money? Like, what will it do? Make sure when there's any marketing message that you are doing for people, folks, you definitely need to tell them what the benefit is, because they don't know. So you have to put that. Also, if you take the time to address any potential objections up front, that will hurry up and allow you to kind of get that going a little bit faster. But the course, if you haven't built an audience yet, I personally don't recommend courses yet, because what I find people do is they spend so much time on the creating course, which is a lot of work, y'all. Like, it's a lot of work. They spend so much time creating the course, and now they're burnt out and nobody knows anything about them.
Yep.
So
that's me.
All right, baby. I'm gonna tell you to create the audience first. So I'm gonna put you on hold. If I have time to come back, if nobody comes in, then I'll come back if you have any other questions. Okay?
Well, I do. I have one more. I have one more quick one.
Go ahead. Give me the quick one.
Okay. So I was thinking of my audience being creating a LinkedIn profile. What do you think about that?
Your audience being created. What's that question? I don't think I understand the question.
Okay, so because LinkedIn is geared toward businesses, corporations, I was thinking I could create a profile of kind of like that one pager of what you're saying, like a introductory, so to speak. What do you think about that?
Give me some more information. What is your class about?
Oh, customer service, the customer experience.
Can you be more specific? Let me rephrase that, because the customer experience for, let's say, a spa, right? Like, if you're saying all your customers are spa owners, then you're specifically saying that you help spa owners create a customer experience that will increase their sales by 23%. What does that look like? Oh, what I do is XYZ. You follow what I'm saying? So granted, yes, you can go on LinkedIn as a way to advertise what you do, but you all have to be very clear in your marketing message that it's clear what you do. If you just go out in these internet streets and just say, I do X, it's going to be real hard for people to find you, just because of the way that SEO and keywords work, right? So granted, you could use LinkedIn. I would recommend using something that's search engine optimized, which LinkedIn is not. When anyone has a problem or they have an issue, they go into Google or they go into YouTube, period. Right? So when you look for something, never is a LinkedIn article coming up. Rarely is a podcast coming up. Rarely is an Instagram post coming up, right? So if you want to get to clients quickly, you want to find out what are some of the questions or the problems or the issues that they're having, so that I can create content around that if you want to do inbound marketing. But if you want to do outbound marketing, is what we talked about before, like even looking on here, like, figure out any past clients or past jobs that you've worked for and contact them, call them, tell them what you're doing. Okay. If there's any trade associations, which I'll get online and show that in a bit. Trade associations are wonderful. There's a trade association for everything that exists on this earth, at least in the States, in the US. So there's probably a trade association for hotels. Your customer service training is for what industry, Tracy?
Hotels. I have 2 hotel brands.
Okay.
That I'm kind of focusing on?
Okay, so there's association of hotels, right? And so you
Okay.
can reach
Okay.
out to them and figure out, or if you just want to narrow it down to, one hotel brand or boutique hotels, hotels are still kind of general, right? So you
Right.
can focus it to a variety of different hotels. You can start off with boutique hotels because it's very easy to get to the person in charge, right? And you can tell them what you
Oh,
do,
okay.
explain what it is so they can have a better idea as to why they should even pay for your services, right? So create a little one pager in a PDF, or my preferred method is create a quick 2-minute video, right? When you're sending out your cold call,
Oh,
your cold
Lord.
emails, you can send a video, a quick video that will show them what it is you do in a visual format, and then follow up. So, code presentations. Yes, that's what I have right there. Does that help, Tracy?
It does. Thank you so much. You are such a blessing. I hope you know
No, I
you are really a
appreciate that,
blessing.
Tracy. I really do. Thank you, honey.
All right.
All right. Okay, so next I am going to Mr. and Mrs. Vines 301. That's in Maryland. I love that. Can you hear me? I'm going to unmute you. Oh, you're not even muted. C Vines. You want to talk to me? What's your question?
Hi, this is Kim.
Hey, Kim.
I'm actually a PR in Canada, but I'm in Vinci right now.
Okay.
So my question is, when I moved out of the States, I actually took a year off to kind of figure out what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So part of me wants to possibly go back into the job market, but I'm also considering starting a consultancy,
Okay.
which would focus on the area where I was last employed, which is data privacy.
Okay.
Where I am stuck, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm possibly overanalyzing as I normally do,
Okay.
I am stuck on the name of the business because I want a name that not only is indicative of the services I will offer,
Mm-hmm.
but it also is indicative of my why for starting the business, which is basically to open the door for other young women who look like me, who are trying to get into tech or cyber, that field, and make it a little bit easier for them. So I kind of want to build my business to hopefully open the doors for others.
I love it.
So just having a business like
So
privacy consulting or whatever,
what's your
that's
specific question though?
fine, but
Is it
to
just the
me,
name? Are you not starting because of a name? That's not it, Kim, right?
technically it is because the only thing is I don't want to change names later on down the road because once you do the name, then I can get my business number, then I can start the marketing, then I can start doing contracts.
Okay.
So, for me, the name is just very important.
So why
So I don't know if
what is it
there's
this
methods that you've seen someone to find a name that
can we pull
for their
names
business.
out of? Well, here's the thing. So a lot of times there can be a different name for what is on the face of the brand and then what is actually written in the contract. That makes sense, right? So like even when you see a lot of celebrities, their brand is, let's say, Britney Spears. But when Britney Spears has to write a contract, it might be Dreamland Entertainment. You follow what I'm saying? So you can do a DBA, but when there's going to be a part where the contract comes up, right? And that part doesn't necessarily have to be the same name if that's what's getting you stuck. Now, when I have to come up with a name, sometimes I'm spending majority of my time on the domain name, the domain sites like a GoDaddy or wherever I would register a
Right.
domain, because you want your name to be somewhat close to your domain name, right? So you may have this wonderful name that
Right,
you
exactly.
envision, and then GoDaddy is like, nah, right? So some of your choice may kind of have to revolve around what technology is going to allow you
Be in the back
that
end.
thing. So when I have to do it, I do contact some friends and just control C. I'm sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I ask them what are their thoughts are, I used a thesaurus to come up with some names that may be like a double entendre, that type of thing. But ultimately, majority of the time is going to be spent on a domain registry website. So if your brand is not available online, and that's the name that you really want, it may not necessarily have to be what you're actually writing your contracts to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I got it.
But spend the time on the domain registry, because you can come up with this wonderful name and then it's not available on online.
Okay. Now, can I ask you, since you are in Portugal, did you have to hire an accountant because I don't know, hopefully I'm not making an assumption. You were a U.S. citizen, correct?
I am a U.S. citizen, yes.
U.S. So you have to pay taxes both places?
I don't do
file
tax
taxes, at
questions.
least?
And then let me tell you why I don't do tax questions, because I am not an individual. I'm a business entity, and I have a whole bunch of stuff going on in my back end. So what I do is probably not what someone else is going to do. Okay. So I can't offer that because somebody will listen to me and go there and do it. What I recommend is that you hire a tax attorney, not just a CPA. You want a tax attorney. If you're going to live out abroad, you want to invest in a tax attorney. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you,
All
Kim.
right. Thanks.
Okay, guys, if you have any questions and you want to type them in the chat, I'm going to get into this inbound marketing really quickly. How are we doing on time? Oh, we're not doing that great on time. If you want to call in, you can. And then let me know, is the call in thing better than the Zoom thing? And then we'll figure out from there how we'll do this forward. Okay, so the inbound marketing, there are basically 3 types of inbound marketing if you're going to market your business, and that's going to be content, which is what I kind of stress you guys about. And then the PPC, which is pay per click, right? So these are your Google ads, your Facebook ads, all of those things, right? And then SEO. Now, the reason why I always stress you about content is because I feel like some of y'all, like me, are introverts, right? You don't want to do the cold emails is still some introvert type stuff, right? You may not want to do cold calling and that type of thing. Now, inbound marketing takes a little bit more time. So I do encourage that you do a little bit of both. But with the inbound marketing, you can all of these, the SEO, the content, the PPC, that requires keywords. And I want you to really become familiar and understanding keywords, because this is why I say you got to get super specific, because in specificity, there are keywords associated with it. And if you're creating content and keywords aren't in your content, all this inbound marketing that you're doing, no one's going to find you, right? So your content is going to basically be how people find you, and you need distribution for content. Okay. So your distribution, or where you put the content, is going to vary. This could be on your blog. A lot of individuals are using social media, which is cool, but you got to remember that every social media distribution channel operates differently. And so you have to optimize based on the channel in which you chose. Again, I'm biased. I'm always going to choose YouTube or some form of Google blog types of things, right? Because those are keyword specific, and you can reach the people who are interested in the content immediately. So, inbound, what else did I want to tell you about it? Yeah, so but that's the key determiner of all inbound marketing is keywords. And if you are super general, you no one is going to be able to find you. Your keywords on Instagram are associated with what you write in your descriptions, in addition to hashtags and all of that stuff. When it's YouTube, the keywords are in the title, they're in the description, they're in the tags. Even when you're doing pay-per-click, it's keywords associated. It's super hard to come up with keywords if you're not specific enough, right? Okay, so guys, if you have any more questions, we got about 15 more minutes. We can call in, and I know Humble Veg had another question, so I'm about to unmute you, love. Humble Veg, tell me what your other question was, love, while I go through these questions here. Uh-oh, did I unmute you? Were you ready? Humble Veg? Okay. We'll come back to you then. All right, so let me answer some of these questions in the chat. Again, guys, if you want to call in, and let me know if you prefer the call in versus Zoom, because I guess we can hear each other's voices on any other platforms. But if you like one better than the other, let me know so that we can figure that out. Okay, finding ways. So again, right now we're talking about where do you start? And I want everyone to feel comfortable in this space of where to start. So next week, not like immediately next week, because next week is my birthday and I will not be here. But what I will attempt to do is be here for those of us who are just joining us. I will attempt to be here on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Portugal time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, answering your questions, okay? So if you send me an email, I can't answer it, but I specifically put this time out to answer it. Okay, yes, and train construction company on how to use my company's accounting stuff. And the green library. Okay, so Brandy, hey. Brandy, I need you on the line because I just have so many questions. But I want to have a conversation with you because I think your issue is the issue that many people have. It's like you have a full-time job, you want to make online income, and you want to focus on the activities that are going to give you the biggest bang for your buck. So if you want to just get more clients using that same accounting software, then you're going to need to start creating content around the title of the accounting software. Because what's going to happen if someone else has that software or want to use that software, the first thing they're doing is Googling how to use it, right? So if you have the content that does that, you're going to immediately show up, whether it's in YouTube or whether it's on a blog or what have you. But I need to have a little bit more clarity as to how you want to work that. Journey to Cloud 9, thank you for your question, hon. With so many people getting on YouTube, does it make sense? Doesn't it make it that much harder to really be successful and gain an audience? I love that you asked that question, honey, and it does not. So here's the thing. I'm sure you hear this and it sounds super cliche, but there's only one you, right? So you have to determine how you are different than what's out there. And you are different because you're unique, right? So how is your uniqueness of providing space to the particular industry? And if you can tell me what the industry is, I can try to help out with that. But so for example, there's a ton of people who are probably online talking about online income or moving abroad or whatever, right? But if we're talking about online income, I can only specifically talk about what I know because my background is digital marketing, right? So there's, drop shipping and all these other things that people do. I'm trying to help you create the audience and kind of put yourself out there and create your personal or your corporate brand because that's what my expertise is. And I happen to live out of the country and I've been working digitally for 25 years. So I have some expertise in the matter, in addition to I do it for my corporate clients. But it's a ton of people who talk about that. But mine's going to be different because I'm different in the way that I do it. So you're different. And I'm sure what you can provide is, we all screaming representation matters, right? So of course people are going to identify with the way that you are putting the information out there, right? So my audience is most people either don't want to live either in America or they just want to travel, right? So that's really what my audience is made up of. And I'm grateful for that because those are my interests. So when it doesn't have to feel like work when I'm talking about it. I love talking about business and I love talking about travel, right? So just think about how your passions can align, but those passions are unique to you and how you see it. So don't ever think because all of those people on a line that it's not going to be harder. Now, here's where it does get hard. If you are not consistent. If you're not consistent, this is all going to be a wash, okay? Even in the inbound marketing I'm talking about, if you're not consistent and you don't have enough content, none of the cyber gods are going to understand what your content is about in order to push people to you, right? So even when a corporation hires my company, we do about anywhere from 50 to 100 a piece of content off the break. right? In the keywords that they want to be associated with. But that is because they need the content. So the internet god. So what I'm telling you to do is what we do. We just do it on a larger scale for corporate clients. But you can do this for yourself. Okay. So journey to the cloud, girl, do it. Okay. So how much are we doing? Okay. So anybody on the line that I am missing? Okay, folks. All right. So happy Wednesday. Hey there. I just started the e-com store selling home decor. I love it and wanted to know if you would start with paid ads. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Don't you dare start with no paid ads right now. Okay. So right now you want to build your audience. So you can start to talk about some of the home decor that you're selling. Maybe show some examples of how you've decorated a room, or, you know, what can people do with your home decor? Like, you can create content on YouTube, some interior design content with the home decor. If they're interested in purchasing, they can put the link in the description. Don't pay for ads yet. Just consider, if there's certain items you want to sell, make sure that you're putting those keywords throughout the content. If you're doing it on YouTube, I would recommend YouTube because it's search engine optimized and it's very visual. For what you're doing, it's super visual. And you could consider Instagram a little bit. Okay. I have a physical job. There's no way to transition into the remote world. I want to start from scratch. Or can you, Brown Sugar Babe, can you tell me what your industry is? Or, okay, Brown Sugar Babe. Okay, this is a really good point. And if this is helpful, guys, give me a thumbs up, please. That helps other people find the video when this is over. If for those of you who have physical jobs, because we've had this before, right? If you have a physical job, don't look. What's the part where I said about the journey, right? Document your new journey, exploration, or new areas of curiosity. I got some websites I wanted y'all to show real quick. I didn't manage my time well at all today. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me. So again, is there something you want to learn? Is there something else that you're interested in? Is there an exercise that you do? What is it that you are doing that you're either curious about or that you love? Regardless of the physical job, I get it, right? But what else about your life or that you're interested in that you can start to document that process? I want you to think about that, Brown Sugar Babe. Like, I'm really, really encouraging you to do that. Okay. All right. So any more question? Hello. Hey there, love. I'm starting over in Portugal. I'm from DC. Hey, DC in the house. Huge change. It absolutely is. DC in Portugal. Nothing like the same. I like the call-in. Okay, so Humble Bees, you like the veg. You like the call-in. Love it. So do you like the call-in better than Zoom? Humble Veg, let me know. Thank you so much. Thank you, Trey. Okay, thanks for the mission. It works in both ways. Okay, do we have any more questions? I think the questions should be submitted ahead of live. So here's the thing. I ask people on the list to submit the questions ahead of live. I absolutely ask people to do that. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. Yeah. So, okay. All right. Let me show you a couple websites I wanted to show you really quickly after. Okay. So for freelancers contracting, this is freelance.com, right? So this is one of the options that you can use to maybe try to get some of your first initial clients. Now, I'm not a fan of this website. I'm just telling y'all because I need to tell you that it's out there. I would prefer you look for Indeed, or you go on some other place where people are saying that they have this position and they're looking for contracting. Okay. Go to the contracting companies. There's Kelly Services. There's contracting companies for accounting services, creative service. Go to them and apply with them, and then you can still do contract work, okay? But I'm gonna tell you about freelance just because it exists. Now, if you are purchasing services, is actually a good place to purchase freelancers. But if you are a freelancer, I would tell you to stay away from sites like this because, one, you're on a website with nothing but your competition. Like, I don't even know why you would want to do that. And then most of the people on there are probably going to, try to nickel and dime you. You want to focus on people who have a need immediately and they're willing to pay for it. So you want to look for corporations, in my humble opinion, but you are grown, so you can do what you want, right? So this is the other thing about trade associations. So remember I told you that there's a trade association for everything that exists, okay? There is a beverage trade association, and basically it's the business sector of anything. There's a trade association for hotels, for car manufacturers, literally for everything. One of the most beneficial, in my opinion, trade associations that I work with or I'm a member of is National Association of Women Business Owners. But if you're an engineer, there's Association of Engineers. If you're a plastic surgeon, there's Association of Plastic Surgeons. Whatever your industry is, you can find a trade association for it. And so the benefit of this, you can get speaking opportunities, you can get writing guest post opportunities. And a great thing about writing guest posts for trade associations, usually they're nonprofit organizations. Google loves a .edu and a .org. Like, they just love it. Okay. So when you write these publications, your domain is going to be associated with, in this case, a national publication or with a nonprofit or a school, right? All of those associations helps increase your domain ranking, right? And the authority, basically. So, but anyway, in the National Association of Women Business Owners, they have chapters in every state. So this will allow you to meet other people in your state. You can do some collaborations. You can do a variety of things, but definitely want you to consider those. Now, what did I do? Did I? Anybody else? Okay. So do we have any other questions? I wanted to go through that website before I forgot and before we run out of time. Okay, questions. So is it possible to email people without pre-notifying them? Nature Grocer, do guest presentations, would love to be outbound marketing if yes. Is it possible so when you say is it possible to email people, hold on. Oh, okay. So are you still Humble Veg? Are you here with me?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So I have your question here. Is it possible to email people? Yes. Now, if you're making it look like spam, then that's not cool. But if you're just sending them an email, you're making your email very personal. So make it clear that you don't just send this email to them. So you can maybe explain that you either shop at this grocery store or you've attended some of these, whatever. But make it very clear that this is not a spam email when you send them a cold email. Okay.
Okay, well, that's a two-part question. The first one, remember how you suggested to contact my internal contacts?
Yes.
Most of those folks in my internal contacts, yes, I have not reached out to, and I'm nervous about, contacting them. So can I just send a blast email informing them about my website and what I'm doing?
Nope. No, because they didn't give you permission to do that. They didn't give you permission to market to them. And if you're sending a blast, that is marketing. And that's kind of like you messing with spam laws, right? People, you have to do permission marketing. So if you get emails and you just blasting emails out to people, that's not what I'm recommending y'all do, guys. I'm recommending that you take the time and you find the point of contacts that you can send a direct email message to. Okay. So if there's a specific person, just send the emails out and but do not blast them, because you're going to get caught up in some spam. And you'll get messed up with your email marketing software.
Okay.
All right.
I will pre-contact certain ones. And then the second part of the question, my local grocery here, they do guest presenters. And since I make recipes about African food, I was considering reaching out to them. Would that be outbound?
That would be outbound. Yes, absolutely. Do it.
Okay.
Do it. Do it. I can't wait to hear the follow. You said you started being very specific in which country, and you said it's already working. What did you do specifically?
I started being specific with Liberia, since I am from Liberia. Okay. I have well over 40 posts or articles on Liberian recipes. So I went ahead and made the SEO phrase specific to it.
Perfect.
And now the work is I have to go back to 40 articles and redo the SEO phrases as far as putting them in the post so they can show up.
Okay. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you. I am taking the advice. It's just doing the work and then going back to redo it. It is exhausting.
I know, but it's gonna work out. I'm super proud of you. Thanks for coming by, love.
Well, thank you.
All right, so we're about to head out of here, right? Because we're running over. Hey, Melanie, thanks for coming out. Also, like the video. Okay. Also, call in better. Okay. So you like the call in better than Zoom. All right. So let me end that real quick. Okay. So what we'll do is we will use the call in feature on more than Zoom when we doing Q&A, hopefully. Okay, so let's just wrap this up. I know it was a little bootleg. It's going to get smoother next time, y'all. But I want to make sure that everyone feels okay with where to start. And if you don't, this is what I need from you. I need you to give me a specific question as to where you're struggling in regards to where to start. Okay. Is it, choosing your industry? Is it, like, what is it specifically so that I can help you work through that? Okay. Because I can teach you the basics, but if I don't know where you're stuck, it's going to, I can't really be as helpful as I want to. Right. So I am going to attempt to do this every Wednesday. Tell a friend. It's like, don't tell a friend to come next week because won't nobody be here. But tell a friend later on. But next week is my birthday week, so I'm not bringing a computer or iPad to anything. And so we're going to try and really just create the content to get you off the ground, to get you to implement what you need to implement in your business, right? Because things are getting crazy. They're laying people off. I want people to feel like you're supported, and the community is just dope anyway. So you're going to get through it. If you came here or you hearing this later and you stressed out and you don't know what you're going to do, it's going to be all right. All right. So we're going to figure it out. Okay. So if you want to get on the list, be sure to do that so that you'll get all the emails in regards to when I am going to go live or if I have to pass up because something happened in my life. So wait, do we have any more questions? Graduation. Thank you, love. It's not bootleg. Thank you, Jessica. I'm glad because it was feeling quite bootleg. So I'm glad you're happy. Thank you so much, James. Okay. All right. Auntie Trey. Okay. Great. Sure. There are too many options, so it's hard to find what to invest in. Coconut water. Great question. Let me answer this real quick. I don't want you to invest in anything. And I don't know if you were here the whole time. I don't want you to invest in anything right now. The investment I want you to make is just the time to create the content or reach out to the individuals that will want your service. Because when you're doing this, when you don't have the money for ads, the input that what you're putting in is the time that you put for doing the regular day-to-day stuff. It's a lot of work, right? And if you're not paying anyone to do it, that's the only investment I want you to do right now. There's a whole bunch of stuff. There's drop shipping, there's, e-commerce, there's all those things, right? But if you don't have an audience, and this is what the people don't tell you who trying to sell you a course, if you don't have an audience and no one knows about you, your drop shipping, your e-course, your webinar, your all of those things, nobody's going to be in attendance. And so you make all that you take all this time to create this form of income for yourself, but there's no audience that knows about you. So I'm asking you to not invest in that yet. I want you to invest with time for you to sit down and decide, who am I helping? What value am I giving to people so that they would pay for me? And who am I helping? And then once you decide who you're helping, then we can have conversations like this to get you out of your head to try to figure out or work through the kinks of what can I offer this person, right? Or what your service offering would be and what that looks like and what that messaging is. But oftentimes you may not get the customer because when I'm talking to people, they're not really clear what value they add. So how is your customer going to be clear, right? So you got to make sure to get that marketing message super, super, super tight. And then the process of when you get a client, what does that look like? Because the last thing you want is an influx of clients. And then when they come in, you don't know what to do with them or how they, what happens. Because then that's going to lead to a bad customer experience. And we don't want that, right? So, I hope that helps, Coconut Water. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Philly's complete. I appreciate it. Everyone have an awesome day. Thank you so much. I don't have an idea, but looking to learn what options are out there. Okay. Hey there, Deborah. All right, guys. I mean, invest time. Okay, I got you. So invest time. Yeah. Okay, it's gonna be a lot of time, right? But think about things you like, because everything else that is like I said, everything requires a learning curve, and if you don't like doing it, it's gonna feel like crappy. Like, because I like to travel and because I love business, because I love those two things, I can do either forever. But if you're saying, oh, I want to open an online store, but you weren't passionate about it, or you don't like the intricacies involved with the tech and all that stuff, it's going to feel like a headache. So I would say just focus on where your curiosity lies right now. And even if you want to document your process of going down this new journey, you'll build an audience that way as well, right? Okay, working full time. You know what? Maybe we need to do a training specifically for my full-time people. So tell me what your questions are around that. If you are on my list and you have questions after this, or something pops in your head, just reply back to any of the emails that you get from me on the list. Granted, I'm not going to answer them. I'm not going to have time, but I'm going to see it, or my people going to see it, and then I'll incorporate it into our weekly little chats, okay? Wait. Okay, Francis. What prevents uploading the same video multiple times with different keywords to see what gets a response from the start? So, Francis, AI stops that. So, Francis, this is a question that came up, and it's a good question. And I'm sorry that the questions on a thing look ridiculous. I'm on a different computer and I didn't format any of this yet. I will try to be better next week. What prevents uploading the same video multiple times with different keywords to see what gets a better response from the start? Artificial intelligence. So, for example, at least with YouTube and most things online, YouTube will contact me if there's copyright infringement. If someone has a piece of my video that is out on their platform, they contact me because they have computers that can tell that the content is the same. If the audio is the same, if various characteristics of the video, you have, metadata in the back of every video. So even though you change the keywords, the video is still the same. So to answer your question, basically in a short answer, artificial intelligence will knock it down. YouTube won't even let you upload the same video unless you do some changes, but it's basically tech that can see all that. Okay, thank you for the happy birthday, love, Francis. I appreciate it. You are clearly. Thank you, honey. Okay. Yes, Aquarians. Okay, guys, it was a pleasure. This will get a little less janky as we do this, and so until next time, I will see you not this week coming, but the week after, and I don't know what that date is, but I'll send y'all some emails and let y'all know when I'm going live. Okay, ciao.